Hi guys, book review number 2 for tonight. And baby, hold it for me to show everybody. It's, sorry about the glare, Stephen King, If It Bleeds. Okay, thanks. He's so excited he gets to be on here 4 times with me today. So I'm trying to read the new ones that come out of Stephen King and Dean Koontz. So I was happy to have gotten this put on hold at the library quickly. I am giving this 4 stars. The reason I'm giving it 4 stars is because of 2 stories out of the 4 that I enjoyed. Yeah. So, yes, it is a 4 short story book. So, the first one, and I forget the names, so that's why I'm looking up the front of the book. Okay, Mr. Harrigan. So, Mr. Harrigan's Phone I enjoyed. That was one of the 2. Not scary. The basis basically is a premise of the story. It's set back, I believe, in the 90s. And this boy helps this old neighbor with his gardening, and he reads to him. So, and the guy pays for him to do stuff for him. And he gives him like a lottery ticket, like for his birthday and Christmas, and he wins a lot of money on one of the lottery tickets. So to thank the neighbor, he gets him a brand new iPhone out. It's, oh my gosh, new iPhone. So of course, the old neighbor, is a little wary of it, and the boy tells him, hey, look at all this cool stuff he could do. And the old man's like, oh, this is awesome. I love it. And then the old guy dies. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So, because after that, it gets strange, which I like. Because Stephen King, his stories are strange. But like I said, it's not scary. It reminded me of Elevation a little bit, where it was like, fantasy, unrealistic in a sort of way. But it was a good story. I enjoyed it. And yeah, so yeah, something happens with the phone after he passed away. That's kind of weird. But it was a good story. I enjoyed the characters. So the second story was called The Life of Chuck, which I did not like that much. I didn't get it. So basically, it's in 3 parts. So it starts at the end and goes back to the beginning of this person named Chuck. And in the beginning, it's like the world's coming to an end. And before the world comes to an end, this guy keeps saying all this stuff about happy retirement, Chuck. Thanks for the great 39 years. But it's popping everywhere, on billboards, on radio stations, everywhere. It's just weird. So the second part talks about Chuck and how he's an investment banker and how he meets these people. And then the third part is when he was much younger. And it's just weird. Like, I didn't get it. So I guess it's more like, and I'm not trying to give too much away because this is a new book and I know you all want to read it. It's just strange. It's a little too strange for me. I mean, I think I understood it at the end, but I still didn't get it. I had a lot of questions. So it was not one of my favorites. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give too much away. So my all-time favorite, and this is why I gave it 4 stars, was If It Bleeds, which is the name of the book. So it's almost like the sequel to The Outsider. So if you read The Outsider, you should definitely read this short story. Because it's Holly Gibney again! Yay! So I was so excited to see that there's another story with Holly Gibney. And she talks about Ralph, even though Ralph's not in here as a character. So she, the most generic way I could explain the premise is she finds out about another monster. Not really an outsider like the other book, but different type of monster. And that's all I'm going to say. Yeah. So the bulk of the book is the story, and it's great. And I loved reading it from beginning to end, and I love Holly Gibney. And if you make some more stories with her, it would make me very happy. Okay. Last one was called Rat. Now, the reason, okay, so the premise of this is this guy, he writes short stories, but he's trying to write a novel. And I guess the one time he tried to write a novel, he set his place on fire because he goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when he tries to write a novel. So he wants to try and write a novel again. His wife's like, are you sure? Because you remember what happened last time you set the house on fire. He's like, yeah, I'll go to this cabin. I'll be fine. So he goes to the cabin to write his short stories. His novel. I'm sorry, not short stories. It was very slow. You know, considering the name of the short story is a rat, you're waiting for this rat to pop up. And waiting. And waiting. And waiting. And waiting. And when it finally does, it's kind of like, oh, okay. It's not scary. It's just, you know, supernatural. Really, the only scary kind of story in it is If It Bleeds. That's kind of like gruesome and, yeah. Sort of like reminds me of The Outsider. But Rat was not really scary. Because I'm thinking, oh, awesome, it's going to be about a scary rat. No. It was supernatural themed. And I just didn't care for it. It kind of was a letdown, especially the ending. It was like, meh. Okay. So it was like, meh. It was a mess story. So, like I said, 2 out of the 4 I enjoyed. I don't regret reading the other 2, but I'm sure other people like all 4. But for me, it's just 2 out of 4 I liked. All right, so that's the review of the newest Stephen King book that just came out, If It Bleeds. All right, and you see he's a cat with a little mouse in the nose. All right, so that's review number 2. That's probably going to be the longest. All right, so see you in a few minutes for the next one. Bye.